Today we're diving into a crucial topic for all those internationals who are looking for a long-term apartment in Germany, and that is how to avoid getting scammed. These 6 tips that we're going to share with you are part of our ebook aimed to help internationals find long-term apartments in Germany. Hey, my name is Jen and I'm from Guatemala.
And mine is Yvonne and I'm German.
And together we're from simplegermany.com, where we create English content to empower internationals to settle into life in Germany more smoothly. Tip number 1, use a verified platform.
Yes, that is, I think, crucial. So there's multiple ways to look for an apartment online, of course. I mean, I would say the majority of apartments nowadays are being found online.
Yeah.
And there's multiple platforms, right? So the most popular and biggest platform in Germany is Immobilien Scout 24. There's others like Immowelt, and those are verified platforms. Now, we do know that some internationals also look for apartments on Facebook or WhatsApp groups, and that is where we say be extra careful, because the difference between Facebook and a verified platform is one step or one layer of security. I'm not saying that those verified platforms don't have scammers. I would say scammers are everywhere, right? It's just one more level to identify a scam faster.
Yes, like one of the reasons is because through a verified platform, you can, for example, do an automatic credit check through that platform, and the person or the apartment you're applying to will get that information without you necessarily sending that information directly to them with your documents.
You mean the credit score?
Yes, the credit score. What did I say?
Credit check.
The credit score. Yeah, that's what I mean. A credit score is a necessary step to be able to show that you have a good credit in Germany. And most of the apartments require you to have a good Schufa score, is in German. And Schufa, we have a whole video talking about Schufa, which you can check out here. You didn't point? Here. There. And there you can know a little bit more. But anyways, through these verified platforms, they allow you to do these things and upload your documents, and they verify you, and then they just let the landlords know that you are verified.
Correct. And vice versa goes the same. There is, again, this extra level of security without exchanging documents.
Yeah. As Yvonne already mentioned, this does not mean, using a verified platform does not mean that you will not find scammers. One example that a Smoothler, which is a smooth settler and is a name we give to our community members, have shared with us is that through Immo Scout, actually 24, a lot of scammers, they upload the listing and a few days later they delete it. And if you showed any interest, then they message you directly. And here is where you need to be extra careful. And one of the emails that one of these Smoothlers received, which you will see on the screen now, is where the landlord says that to finish the process, you need to go to TripAdvisor. This is a massive red flag. And you can see it on step number 1, where they read, you can read it in your perfect German.
So the email is in German and it says, ich sende Ihnen die TripAdvisor-Einladung, damit Sie den Zeitraum auswählen und den Schritten zum Abschluss der Buchung und Zahlung auf der TripAdvisor-Website folgen können. So the thing is that oftentimes the emails are in German, and if your German is not good enough, of course, you don't understand the full context. But whenever you see anything like TripAdvisor or even Booking.com, that is an immediate red flag. Do not proceed with any communication, because that is definitely fishy and not a sincere landlord or realtor.
Yes, 100%. So if you're dealing with Immo Scout 24, then most likely the communication needs to continue in Immo Scout 24, and you do not need to book or pay anything to view an apartment, which will go as one of the tips further down.
Yeah, at least in the beginning, the communication stays on the platform. At
Yes.
some point, you move away from it, but at some point comes at a later step, not at the first inquiry.
Yeah, and not on TripAdvisor or Booking.com.
No.
Tip number 2 is don't trust those outside of the country.
Okay, you saying it that way sounds already weird, but let us iterate, what do we mean by it? We mean by it that if someone that you're communicating with says they're outside of Germany and cannot give you really a viewing or any other service per se, and that is just to be accepted. Here's an example from another communication from a Smoothler that we would like to read.
This is a message that we received from a Smoothler explaining the kind of scam they were being reeled into. And they wrote to us, we saw an apartment listing on Immowelt, which is a verified platform, that we were very interested in. We received an email from the apartment owner who explained that she currently lives in the UK and plans to rent her place through an agent also based in the UK. Massive red flags.
So the red flag here for me is not the fact that the landlord does not live in Germany. Because, come on, you can own property in Germany and not live here, just like probably some of you own property abroad, but you are now in Germany or elsewhere. The red flag for me here is that the realtor is also supposed to be in the UK. Because if you have property in Germany, there should be someone in Germany, a property manager, a realtor, someone that takes care of that property.
Yes, and this goes in line that apartment viewings, which is a tip that we're going to share with you, is super important. And if the realtor is not in Germany, that's already saying that you won't be able to view the apartment. And that is a massive red flag. So with these apartments, the recommendation would be do not proceed.
Drop them, yeah.
Drop them. Don't continue the communication because it's already a little bit fishy from the start. Which slides perfectly into tip number 3, and it's always go for a viewing.
Correct. And this, of course, is only possible once you're already in Germany. That is why for us at Simple Germany, we always encourage you to, when you're still moving to Germany, first start with a short-term rental. We have an entire guide in the description below going into different platforms that offer short-term rentals and allow you to register. And then once in Germany, you can actually proceed to look for a long-term apartment when you have all your ducks in order and your documents ready. And in that stage, do not ever go into any further negotiations, communication with someone offering an apartment if they don't allow you a viewing. Any proper, sincere, whether German or not German, but any proper property owner in Germany will offer proper tenants a viewing.
Yes, and you're right to view the apartment before you rent it, right? And also don't trust if they just do like a video, a call showing you the apartment. I would say the massive, let's say this learning is to physically be at the apartment, because through also a video call, A, it could be a fake apartment. B, they could just show you things that they want you to see and avoid other things that might be in the apartment that you weren't aware of. So absolutely, if you can, push for viewing the apartment. I know it takes time. I know it's a pain in the, but you know, it has to be done because this is kind of like you securing that the building that you see at least exists and you are happy with the conditions that you see when you view the apartment personally.
And if you're moving from one city to another, let's say from Berlin to Munich, where it's not just a quick drive to go see the apartment. So either you, maybe if you're lucky, have a friend there that can view for you. You can talk with your employer if they have offer any sort of assistance, or you could even hire, maybe like via a help buddy or something, someone trustworthy, like an independent third party in the new city to go view the apartment for you. Or you just do a weekend trip or take 2 days of vacation and go during the week and align a few viewings at once. Make it happen.
A few viewings.
Make it happen for you to just feel comfortable and confident.
100%. Another thing to look out for when you're viewing the apartment is just have a look, for example, if there's a key safe. These are super popular for Airbnb, like a key box safe. This is super popular for Airbnb rentals because sometimes it could happen that you're viewing the apartment, but the dude or dudette is not the owner of the apartment or doesn't have the right to rent it. So they could have rented it through Airbnb and they're just showing you, but these tend to be more furnished apartments. So I would say be extra careful with furnished apartments and just be sure that it's, I don't know, it's a very gut feeling kind of thing.
It's a gut feeling kind of thing. I would say the key lock is usually, say on any regular apartment you would never find that, but if you do, like Jen said, just be extra sure, ask a few extra questions. What's up with this apartment, right? Is it a regular long-term rental or what's the deal here?
Yeah. Tip number 4 is be careful with payments.
Never, ever, ever pay anything in advance. Now, what do we mean in advance? In advance of viewing, in advance of signing a contract, in advance you need to do a down payment in order to get the key. All of this is complete BS. I'm so sorry to say it like this, but those are scams. No one will ever ask you to pay anything in advance, at least before signing a contract, for you to get anything. That is not normal practice, and those are typical signs of scams.
Yeah, also I would say what would be super fishy and I would be suspicious. We've heard also that people want to mail you the key, and for that they want you to pay the shipping. Already, it's a weird sign. I wouldn't do that, for example. Another thing to be careful when paying is when people ask you to pay cash somehow, to mail them money, or through cryptocurrencies, or to pay money into a bank account that is not a German bank account. German bank accounts start with an IBAN number, with the IBAN letters DE. And if they're asking you to send money to, I don't know, Ireland or other parts, that's also reasons to be suspicious. Other scams that we've read is that people ask you to send the bank transfer and just leave it blank because you can save taxes that way.
Complete nonsense.
That is also suspicious. So I would say the moment the person talking to you is not sincere and honest, and it's kind of like giving you fake information or fake tripwires, it's the moment to be suspicious, because if they're lying to you about these things, they can be lying to you about many other things.
Yeah, I agree. The trick is, and why we're doing this video, is how, if you're not accustomed with German customs, are you supposed to know what is fake and what's not?
That is true. I would say, but like we mentioned now, before signing the contract, there should be no exchange of money. Also, we've read that people want money to be able to reserve the earlier spots in the morning to go view the apartment.
Yeah,
no money before signing the contract, of course.
So just to be clear what in advance means, I think we've emphasized in advance means before signing a contract. You don't pay anything. Of course, after you sign the rental contract, that's the time to actually pay the deposit. And only after the deposit, you get the key. That's also what happened with our case. So we had a physical viewing with a realtor of an apartment that we found in ImmoScout 24. So the viewing was completely normal and the realtor seemed complete, legit and professional. We verified that the realtor is a real realtor, and we verified the office address and also actually drove by the office and saw it physically exists. And we paid the deposit after signing the contract. We signed the contract in person with the realtor and the landlords.
Yes.
And after paying the deposit, we received the key. And then we paid the first rent pretty much when moving in, with the first month that we used the apartment.
If you're finding the content of this video helpful, then make sure to give us a like. And if you would like to always get informed when we launch new videos, then make sure to hit that subscribe button that probably had a cool animation as we said subscribe just now. Tip number 5 is the price is too good to be true.
ImmoScout 24 in the listings, when you scroll down, has this cool graphic that helps you identify in which level the offering of the price lays, whether it's average, it's above average, or it's below average. This is always based on the price per square meter of the apartment. Now, if
of the area also, right?
Yeah, and of the area, of the apartment, of the area, of the market, pretty much what you're looking at. And if that price is super on the lower end, like on the cheap end, on the too good to be true end, and especially if it also miraculously includes everything, like for example already internet, that is, or electricity, those are two very sketchy things to include in long-term rentals. Those are included in short-term rentals, but not in long-term unfurnished rentals.
Another one is free parking. If you get absolutely free parking. So if the price is too good to be true, it doesn't mean it has to be a scam. Just be suspicious of it, because there's something wrong, most likely, because apartments are not cheap in Germany, and finding a massively good deal, it can be tough. As an example, you also need to understand that areas close to the main train station in cities, big cities in Germany, tend to be a little bit cheaper than the rest of the cities, because around the main train station is where one could see more homeless activity and maybe the use of drugs and stuff like that. So they tend to be a lot cheaper. We knew a couple who got an amazing deal and a very beautiful apartment very close to the train station. And that is why, because it was very close to the train station. So there has to be a reason why the price is too good to be true. And once you find that reason out, if you're okay with that, then you can proceed, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a scam. It just means that there has to be a reason and you have to evaluate if it's good for you or not. And tip number 6 is be careful when sending your ID documents.
And this ties beautifully into tip number 1, and that is to use a verified platform, not only because there are no scams, of course there are, like we said, they are everywhere. However, through the verified platform, you can create your professional profile as a tenant looking for an apartment. You can upload your IDs, you can verify your bank information, you can verify your credit score and the Schufa. You can enter all your personal information through this third-party website, meaning the realtor or the landlord will get all the information from the platform and not your actual documents. And this is what is super important. Don't ever, in the first correspondence, if in an email someone asks you to send your ID or your Schufa record, don't do that, because chances are high that your ID will be misused in future cases, and it's phishing pretty much your private information, especially your ID or passport.
Exactly. We have the case of a smoother who also sent their ID for the viewing. And again, no transaction needs to happen for a viewing or before the viewing or to get a key in this sense. We, for example, sent our ID only after we've mentioned already. We saw the apartment that we wanted to move in physically. We verified the property management company existed. And when they wanted to craft the contract, they of course needed our ID information for more data that ImmoScout could give them. So then we sent the ID. But always be super careful when sending your personal documents. I would say you only send your personal documents when you have checked all the green boxes and you're ready to sign the contract and the person is asking you for this information to be able to craft the contract. Some other cases, I think I experienced that once, that they sent me the contract for me to add my information, but actually it doesn't make sense because I think the person crafting the contract needs to also verify that your information is correct, right?
Correct. So there's one thing, what is very common, and that is totally okay to do, is that the realtor or the landlord will ask you to fill out a form. It's usually called Mieter-Selbstauskunft, pretty much tenant self-information, self-disclosure, where you just state information similar as you write into the ImmoScout profile. But this is really just filling out a PDF. And that is perfectly fine because that is just words. What is not okay is to really take scans, pictures of your IDs, your Schufa, or other sensitive information and send that over before you verified that the person on the other side is a real trustworthy person. And this goes into actually our ebook that we wrote, Get Your Keys, where I did over-the-shoulder videos of ImmoScout24 simply because it is the #1 platform, and showing you how to craft a perfect professional profile that gets you higher chances of also getting a viewing, where to upload your documents, or better said, how to connect your bank accounts to verify all of those data. So if you're interested in that, then be sure to click on the link and get our ebook, Get Your Keys.
So the big lesson of this video is A, to trust your gut, but also most importantly, if you already have a sensation or feeling that the person is being dishonest with you in any way, then bail. It's better to have peace of mind than losing thousands of euros to a scam. But of course, to be able to trust your gut and know if the person is being dishonest, you need to know a little bit of what the German culture and exchange of information, what the baseline is when looking for a long-term apartment in Germany. And for that, you also need to understand what are the cultures and customs in Germany when you're looking for a long-term apartment, which we also explain in our ebook, which again, you can find in the description box below. Until next time, cheers!